cold-blooded love. Helps us break each other's hearts. It's cold-blooded love.
So how are you?
I'm great. How about you?
Good, I'm really good. Everybody, this is Irene Maltzan, and she is the founder of Wellness Tree. And you have a really great mission with what you're doing for Wellness Tree. You want people to see how easy it is to eat well?
Absolutely. You know, a lot of people do not know how to cook. They weren't brought up to cook, or maybe they came from a family that cooked a lot, but with today being so busy and everything, what happens is fast food becomes easy.
Yeah.
And my whole idea about teaching people how to cook is to make not only themselves healthier, but also their family.
Right.
And kind of bring that back, the whole idea of cooking and gathering in the kitchen. And just to show you that it's not really that hard. You just have to...
You make it not hard. Seriously, let's be honest here. You really don't make it hard.
We got to kick this off.
Oh, yes. It's Friday too. Hello,
Yes.
everybody. Get your glasses. Whatever. Yeah, you're probably.
Yeah, no,
Avery has her kombucha. Very good. This is our green tea.
Yes, it's the Trader Joe's green tea, unsweetened. I highly recommend it, and green tea is really good, especially to drink between the hours of 11 and 2 when the sun is the highest. That's when your metabolism is the highest, so it really helps to boost metabolism.
So what are we going to be cooking today?
The March is a very cold month, you know, the winds and everything. So I like something very warming, and also I like something that's comfort food. So I love Indian food. I just love the spices, and the spices are so healthy for you. You know, with all the viruses and everything that are going around, upping your garlic, your ginger, your turmeric really helps keep the immune system boosted, and also alkaline, because disease cannot live in an alkaline state. So if you're more alkaline, it's really, really important.
Instead of acidic.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to make cream of cauliflower curry soup.
Okay.
And we're going to make chocolate almond butter balls. Those are the comfort food too. It's better because it's very healthier for you. It's got great ingredients, and it's got almond butter and flax meal.
Let's get into it. What's our first step?
Okay, so the cauliflower soup is a couple steps. You have to roast the cauliflower first. Steps are, we're going to roast the cauliflower, which I did already, but I wanted to show you real quick because some people have never roasted vegetables. And when you roast vegetables, this is cauliflower, and you can do this with other vegetables as well. Think of it like you're washing your hair. You wouldn't pour the whole bottle of shampoo on your hair. It's the same thing with this. You're going to pour a little bit into your palm and mix it up just like you were going to wash your hair, and then massage it into the cauliflower, because what happens is then it gets an even distribution.
Canola oil is okay?
Yes.
Okay.
In Indian food, they use vegetable oil.
Okay.
And I don't like soy and peanut oil, so I'm using canola. Usually I use olive oil or grapeseed oil, but just for flavor, you don't want
salt?
Yep. So you want to take the salt,
Yep.
and this is Himalayan pink sea salt.
Good. Iodine.
Yes.
Iodine. Salt is not really our best friend.
No.
I really like Celtic salt. I'm passionate over.
Get in the oven.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to time it, put it in for like anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes, depending on your oven. I have a convect, so...
What is the temperature?
400.
400 for 20 minutes.
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
That's on convect. It might take a little bit longer, so no worries.
Okay.
The vegan butter in the pan here and letting it melt. And then I'm going to add 1 large onion, which is basically a cup and a half. Okay?
All right.
With Indian cooking, it's very important to cook your onions and your spices, because that's where you get the flavor. If you rush in traditional cooking, like, you don't have to cook the onions for that long, or the garlic or the spices, but this is the step that I find is most important to get this soup to
Open up the flavor,
Yeah,
open up the essence.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
I'm just cooking this here. I'm going to let it cook. I'm going to take out, this is the one that we have.
Yep.
And here we go.
Ooh, looks good.
So I roasted this really nice and crispy, and this is so delicious when you save a little bit for the top of it at the end, and you have like a crunch to it. I love in Indian cooking when you get the crunch. You get it from seeds, from nuts, and then also when you do something with this. Go ahead, try a piece.
Always good. I love cauliflower.
So I'm gonna let this sit out here. Yep. We're gonna let this cook down here just a few more minutes, and then what I'll do is I'm gonna add the spices once the onion starts cooking. Then we're gonna add the cauliflower to it and the broth, And we're gonna let that cook for about 10 minutes. Then we'll let that cook for a little bit with the broth. And at the end, what you do is you put it through, I like my Vitamix, so I put it
Yes.
through the Vitamix, and it actually has a heating element on it. So you can
Nice.
skip the step of putting it back on the stove. So then you put it in the blender, and then you can add the coconut milk. You can use dairy if you choose to. You can use organic grass-fed dairy, like heavy cream, if that's your choice. Or you can use coconut milk. I love the coconut milk. The only thing is, if you're using the coconut milk, you might want to tone down the spice a little bit, because dairy tends to cool things off a lot more than coconut. So that's one thing I found.
Or almond or oat can you use? No, not really.
No, really, you need full-fat coconut milk, because
Okay.
it's a very creamy soup,
Mhm.
because that really cools down the spice. But
Okay.
it's just so amazing.
You know what I use, Irene? I
Okay.
use a handheld KitchenAid blender so that I don't even have to pour it.
Oh, the immersion
in back.
blender?
Yes, yes, and
Yeah.
it's a steel base.
Yes.
So it doesn't melt. I have melted the base of other handhelds.
Cooking is about multitasking. And in today's society, I feel like everybody's a little bit ADD, right? I mean, we're just running around the
Without
place
a
and doing.
question.
So if you can do multiple things at the same time, it really saves you a lot of steps. For the almond butter balls, one of the things that I do is I use a double boiler, and I'm boiling on the bottom water, and on the top I have dark chocolate, and here is the chocolate on top.
And then on the bottom is the water.
Is the boiling
so you
water.
don't burn your chocolate.
So the chocolate is boiling down, because that's what we're gonna use for the almond butter balls. And the secret to that is adding either liquid coconut oil or MCT oil. I like MCT oil.
Tell me what MCT oil
Is
is.
medium chain triglycerides, but it's actually a good thing. When we hear triglycerides, we think, oh no, that's not a good thing. But this is actually what lowers your cholesterol and lowers your triglycerides.
Is this what they ask you to put into bullet coffee?
Yes, for keto
Is
diet.
it bullet?
Yes.
It's bullet,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Okay, so the onions are ready now, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add the spices, and they're very
Ooh,
strong.
Those are great.
Yeah, there's curry in here,
Just keep
turmeric,
it.
and there's cayenne pepper. And when you buy these spices, I went to an Indian store, and I'll tell you, they're a lot less expensive, because spices are very expensive. They're a lot less expensive, and they're also, you can buy them in large quantities. So if you do a lot of cooking with turmeric and curry, this is a great way to do that. Now you see the beautiful golden
It smells
color.
amazing.
Again, be patient, because it takes a few minutes for the spices to
Open up.
Okay, so
Okay.
this is cooked down. What I'm gonna do now is, can you get me the chicken broth?
Sure.
And if you're vegan, you can use vegetable broth. I like the chicken because it gives you a little more flavor. And we put the entire quart in here, all right? And now I'm gonna add the cauliflower. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna let this cook down a bit. Again, don't rush. So I'm gonna stick a cover
Medium
on this.
heat.
Mhm.
Yep.
It's gonna boil for 10 minutes, and then we're gonna put it in the oven.
So this is the soup after, and we're gonna be enjoying this in a little bit. Oh, that's beautiful.
So let's get to the dessert.
This is paper grapes. You can go on to Shop EMME Style, or you can go on to emmestyle.com/shop and see paper grapes. Use code MEX.
This is the ultimate comfort food, I'm telling you. Things that we're gonna be using, first step is to make some almond butter.
Okay.
And this is vanilla almond butter.
What are all the ingredients? First, let's
Yes.
just talk about every
Yes.
single bit of the ingredients.
Absolutely. So in that, we're doing almond butter, but it's important to use dry roasted, not the creamy. I've had so many people that use the the creamy one because it's cheaper.
It
but
falls apart.
It falls apart. You like literally, it's just like liquid. So this one is very good. It's called Woodstock, and I've used it before.
We'll have links
Yep.
for you.
And
I love these from last time.
yes, I know. I know. Enjoy life. I'm telling you.
Seriously, did anyone get these? I want to hear your comments if anyone actually got these.
All their products.
You gotta
are
talk to
amazing.
them. You really talk about
Yeah.
them a lot.
What we're adding to the vanilla almond butter is we use a cup of the almond butter, we use a teaspoon of the vanilla, and we use a tablespoon of, I use organic maple syrup. You make that,
Okay.
you make a nice container of that. You can use a mason jar. I already prepped this, so what I did is I made it, and then I added a little bit of the flax golden meal. Now flax is really good for you. Like if you look at this, it's 3 grams of fiber. And
Tons
fiber,
of nutrients
yeah, and
too.
fiber is
minerals.
so important to get for you. Yes, absolutely. It has potassium in it. It has iron, calcium, and vitamin D. So
Vitamin D, very good.
Flaxseed meal is the way to go.
Okay.
So I mixed that in with the almond butter, the flax meal, and you want it to be like a really pasty consistency, almost like your if you ever taken a pottery class, it almost looks like clay.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it's any more liquidy, it's not going to work.
It's gonna fall apart.
So what we're going to do is you want to make it into balls, all right?
Okay.
And in order to do that, I will take the chocolate and I'm going to pour it into the bowl here so I can show you how easy this is. Now you put the almond ball into the chocolate, and this is very similar to if you ever made chocolate covered strawberries. The whole idea of this though is not to get it to be too mushy, and then you put it on the plate, and then I just drizzle a tiny bit if I didn't get it all the way.
Ooh, look at how cute that is.
Isn't that nice?
Okay, nice. And I like the measurement of
Yeah,
this.
yeah. And the other thing is that these are
Plus, if you have one of these, you're gonna take care of your sweet tooth.
sweet tooth. You're getting your omega from the flax. I mean, there's so many benefits to this. I just can go on and on about.
Wonderful.
Yeah, and they're really easy to make. I make them a lot for holidays, and then put them out with like dark chocolate strawberries instead of going and buying like junky stuff or making junky stuff.
Yeah.
And it's also unique. Like people like to make brownies, which there's nothing wrong with. I love brownies. They like to make chocolate chip cookies. But when you bring something like this where you're hosting, people really notice. You get comments like, "Oh my gosh, that's so Martha Stewart."
To get that compliment, it's like
Exactly.
the standard.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know.
So
Such pressure we have.
Oh yes, absolutely. And you know the other thing is cooking is not about perfection.
No. Oh my gosh, you should see how many fails I've had.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
You got to fail a lot in order to understand what you don't like and what you do like, and so on and so forth.
Absolutely. So this is the last one. We made some ahead of time, of course, because we don't want to keep you waiting.
Oh,
And
look at those.
Here, I have another tray. I'd love to put them on.
Yes.
And
Okay. Sure.
And these
Paper grades tray.
oh my God.
Wow.
They are the bomb. And
I'll put these in.
these do not stay out for a long time, so you literally would take these out right at the time you're having dessert. You don't want these to sit out because, you know, when you're using fresh ingredients,
Look
like
how
that-
great these look.
Yeah, and I love the imperfection. They almost look like the turtle, you know, the turtle chocolate.
I have to have one.
Go ahead.
I mean, I'm dying. I'm like, I need to try. Are you gonna have one too?
Yeah.
We're having dessert backwards.
Yes.
It's okay to do that.
We're allowed to do that.
Look at how great. Cheers. I love
You
these.
don't need to have 10 of them. You know, but like processed food teaches you to like, I need more, I need more.
No,
And this
you'll
is
have
not-
one or
yeah,
two and
uh-huh.
you're done. Wow. I actually like the texture, and
The flax gives it the fiber.
and the chocolate seems to be not high in sugar too.
All right, so the soup is done. Carefully, and I repeat, carefully, if you're using a blender, be very careful with something hot. Always start out at the very lowest because I've actually had the top fly off when I was inexperienced, and you can really burn yourself. You gotta be careful. So, at a very low heat. This has a heat mechanism, so I can put the coconut milk right in here. Some people actually liked a little bit of chunk in there. That same thing with black bean soup. There's camps. There's the smooth camp. There's the chunky camp. So
Yeah, we're
you can
all
make it-
different.
yeah, and make it to whatever you want. So now I can add the coconut milk, and I use again the full fat, and you can pour it right into the blender. All right, now again, very low heat. So here we go. Perfect. So pour it back into the pan, and you have perfect cauliflower
Curry soup, creamy soup.
And here, I saved some of the crunchies so that we can put that on top, as you saw before.
All right, we're putting
Isn't that
our coconut soup into paper grates to-go cups.
Oh my God, that's so awesome.
Aren't they beautiful?
Yeah,
I know.
I love it.
Oh, it's so creamy. Super fantastic.
Yeah.
So this was easy. Thank you, Irene.
Thank you. This was great. A lot of fun.
We have recipes and times together once a month, and so it's going to always be the first Friday of the month. Please, once you know the schedule and you have questions about how to eat in a well-centered way for your wellness and your family's wellness, it's really not that hard.
Right.
And
I
Irene is
also
here. She loves to answer questions.
I also do private cooking sessions. So if you want a girls' night out and you get a few people together or a couple, I do cooking, couples.
In the tri-state area, absolutely.
In the tri-state area.
So what's your website?
It's wellnesstreeholisticnutrition.com.
Okay, and what's your Instagram?
It's Irene.Maltzan.
And how do you spell Maltzan?
Maltzan. Sounds like the beer.
Okay, very good. That's a good thing
Very
to remember.
easy to remember.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much. Mwah.